Yo, yo.
What it do?
What it do? Special live on a Wednesday morning. Going into week 17 now, man. We already here.
You already know, how that season go, man. As soon as November hit, season fly by.
Fast forward, man. We got some teams kind of separating themselves. I know in the last couple episodes we've been talking about contenders. Who looks good going into the playoffs. You still rocking with the Chiefs as your favorite in the AFC?
Right now I am. I know you've been high on the Bills, and obviously, man, that outing they had on Monday night was huge. Man-to-man pot alum Stephon Diggs went crazy.
Man.
Shout out to him. Josh Allen still showing his whole process, man, of him becoming we seen in front of our eyes, man, how he's just becoming one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. But I'm still gonna stand on the Kansas City Chiefs, man, coming out the AFC. How you feel? Where you at with it?
Yeah, I've been back and forth. I've been I don't know. I must have fell for the bait they done threw out there saying that, hey, Kansas City not looking like they got the killer instinct. But then you look at their record, and they 14-1, so they stacking wins. They ain't all pretty, but a win is a win. So, but I mean, after watching that Monday night performance, and I was already high on the Bills. Seeing Josh Allen come out and do what he did, getting over that mental hump with Belichick. I'm gonna go with the hot hand going into the playoffs, man. I'm gonna take the Bills as my favorite coming out the AFC, man. I may look crazy.
So you said the Bills got the hot hand in Kansas City. They don't.
I mean, you've been watching. Watching. Like I said, they've been winning, but we talked about on the last episode. AJ Terrell bring that pick down. So that's an ugly loss to the Falcons. But if it's a fifth, we'll all be drunk. Win is a win, but I like, man. It's just about Josh Allen doing it on that big stage now. Can he, elevate his game on that big stage? And it's to be determined, but I'm rocking with him for now.
Nah, that's what it is. I won't be disappointed if the Bills, came out of the AFC. Like I said, and like you've been saying, that the Bills, they playing real good ball. So we'll see.
But who else after those top two? I feel like we both agree that's the top two.
AFC top two. We kind of talked about it. You got Pittsburgh, and you got Baltimore. I think Baltimore's playing really well right now after they kind of lull in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, the same thing. After their 3 consecutive losses, they came off with a big win against the Colts, against our Colts. So I would say those 4 right there. After Kansas City, after Buffalo, I would go Pittsburgh, and then I would go Baltimore.
Yeah, man. Pittsburgh started off hot, but we talked about it last week. I don't think they should have been resting their starters this week.
At all.
And I know it makes sense from a health situation, but they lost 3 games, had a comeback win against the Colts, a big win. But I feel like they need to be playing well going into these playoffs. And you just counted out. You just left the Browns, the Ravens, Colts. They're not even in the picture, huh?
I said the Ravens after Pittsburgh. But the Colts, man, like we kind of talked about, they got to win, and some other things got to happen for them to get in. So until they're in the picture, we can talk about that. You know what I mean? But as far as like right now, the Browns, I like the formula for the Browns. Obviously it was a tough loss against the Jets, but obviously had a lot of guys missing, no receivers.
Yeah.
So, but I like the formula that the Browns have. Obviously, in the offs, you got to have a stern defense and a run game, and they have that. Obviously, with the two backs that they have, and the defense that they have, I think they could do some things and make some noise. But
do you trust Baker though? You trust Baker Mayfield on that stage?
I'll trust him for what if they do it right, you know what I mean? If you lean on the run game and you lean on the defense and you don't expose him, if you don't put him out there, I'll trust him. You know what I mean? Hand the ball off, get him out the pocket. Like we talked about this earlier in the season, where we'll get him out the pocket and make the reads easy for him. You know what I mean? Where he doesn't have to scan the entire field, roll him out. You know what I mean? And obviously with that run game, that play action, you know, it's going to garner the attention of the linebacker stepping up. So it's some things that the offensive coordinator can do to help Baker, especially like I keep iterating. Having those two backs back there is big.
Yeah, that's huge. Those backs lean on you as them games go on, especially, you know. You've seen them have success with Baker. You know, Baker set up off that play action and all that's going good. But I just feel like at some point in time, you're going to need your quarterback to come back from a couple possessions or a 10-point game. And I don't know if I could trust Six to do it, man. I think he had three fumbles, lost 2 of them. And obviously he was down 4 receivers. Threw the ball 53 times, so the Jets did a good job stopping that run. But I just don't know if I can trust him. I know on that side we talked about Pat Mahomes, we talked about Josh Allen and the Bills. But then after that, you know, looking at the quarterbacks, who are the most dangerous quarterbacks? I'd probably say Lamar Jackson and probably
for sure.
Lamar Jackson. You got Phillip Rivers if they can get in, but we depending on some help. So what do the Colts need? Colts need a win, plus a Baltimore loss or tie.
And Baltimore has
or Indy win plus Cleveland loss or tie, or Indy win plus Miami loss or tie. Man, I hate even have to look at this shit, man. It's ugly when you get to this point in the season. You got to play your game, and you know obviously you're gonna focus on that opponent. But when you got to look to like you scoreboard watching, man, that's the worst feeling.
It is. On
that, and on that NFC, man,
that's go ahead.
I've been creeping on that Seattle Seahawks bandwagon for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm saying that defense could potentially get better down the stretch. Russell Wilson still don't look like that Russell Wilson out the gate. So it'd be interesting to see if he can flip that switch at going in the playoffs. But after the Packers, they probably my second favorite team over there.
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
You still got the Saints still?
Yeah, I'm after the Packers, I'm gonna go to Saints. I'll put Seattle after the Saints. And then from there, man, shit, you can throw some teams in the hat and throw the hat in the air, man, and let them fall where they may, man. It's kind of crazy after number 3. We were talking about the Rams, man. At one point coming down the stretch where they was looking real good. You know what I mean? Defense flying around, offense was doing their things. Not sure what's up with Goff.
He had surgery. I think he's
right?
Yeah, definitely gonna be out for week 17. Not sure if he's gonna return for the playoffs.
Right. So that's huge right there. And then you can kind of trickle on down to shit. You got the Washington football team.
But they still not even really in yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was about to say, you got the Washington football team, you got the Cowboys, and you still got the Giants, who, you know what I mean, we don't know who's gonna fill that spot. So the NFC, man, I think after those top 3 teams, man, shit. I mean, you can roll your dice with that.
So you don't sound like you got too much faith in the Bucks. You're hot on the Bucks coming in. I don't think Tom Brady can get hot in the playoffs.
Tom Brady can definitely get hot. Like, come on now, let's not get crazy.
I don't know. We talk about playoffs and not even mention the TV12 over there.
That's my fault. I get my own neck for that one, but but yeah, now the Bucks too, man. Bucks, but
yeah, like you said, it's kind of a talk. Obviously, if the Rams don't have a quarterback, if they don't have Goff, they don't have a chance. I think this would be the first action for their backup quarterback. I think Dallas sneaks his way into the playoffs.
You think Dallas will get it?
Yeah, I think Washington's gonna lose, man. They're going with a backup as well, cutting Dwayne Haskins. End up going to backup. I don't think Alex Smith is gonna be able to play this week. The last I saw, at least. But yeah. So I think Dallas is gonna have to win, and if Washington loses, wait, hold on.
We got the scenario in the
Yeah.
jump. That'd be crazy, man. Dallas
win.
get it.
So what is it? Tie. So Dallas win plus Washington lost a tie.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas tie plus Washington loss. So yeah, I think Dallas go get in there, man. And I want them too. I just want to hear their fans. I just want to hear the Dallas Cowboys fans get excited for a Super Bowl run.
I don't want to hear that shit.
That's what I want to hear. The Bears. What about the Bears? The Bears, they're in seven right now. Maserati Mitch making himself some money now.
I told you that last episode, man. Like ain't no telling, man. The way I know he has a ton of confidence right now, just the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks. And you've been saying it all years for that defense. That's a championship winning caliber defense that they have. So
absolutely.
So with that, man, like that's another, I would say, on the NFC side, a sleeper as far as not wanting to go in there and play the Bears, or you seeing the Bears on your schedule thinking that's going to be a layup, but they're playing well right now.
Yeah, they are, man. It's the time. It's the time to get hot.
Money making Mitch.
That's the time to get hot. Big Brody in the chat. Can't see. But yeah, man. And later on, in 15 minutes, actually, we got a very special guest. AB's former teammate, Anthony Booger Mcfarland. You got the Twitter rocking this week. So we're gonna have a conversation, important conversation, man. Around 10:30, he's gonna jump on with us. We're gonna take a little break right before then. He's gonna jump on with us and have a man-to-man conversation, some much needed dialogue. I know AB looking forward to catching up with his old teammate.
No, for sure. But like you said, man, he had some comments, man. So we just want him to dive into that, man, explain where he was coming from. And really, like D-Bud said, it's what this pod is all about, man to man. You know what I mean? So we're gonna challenge each other with this dialogue we're gonna have, man. So if y'all got any questions, some respectful questions.
Yeah, keep respectfully.
Keep that shit respectful. You know what I mean? So if you got some questions, put them in the chat. And if we got time, we'll definitely ask Boog as well. But like I said, man, keep it respectful.
That's a fact. Real shot guy, man. Talking about these damn playoffs.
Man, sure. While we talking about it, sure, we full in this NBA season as well. While we sitting here talking, man.
What you think about Kyrie and KD low managing already, man?
That's some bull.
4 games in.
Man, 4 games in. Like, I mean, I know, KD coming off the Achilles injury, so I can possibly understand that. I think Kyrie had he had an injury too. But shit,
he missed a bunch of time last year.
So I'm like, 4 games in, like, come on, fellas, like, that's what the fans is looking for. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we want to see. We want to see that 1-2 dynamic duo. So I think it's some BS, man. Load management going into the 4th game or after the 4th game. Like,
I mean, you got to. I'll play the devil's advocate. You got to be. You got to be. You got to kind of get ahead of it. Preventive. Ounce prevention is worth a ton of cure. These are superstars. These are the guys. Had a long off season, a lot of time away from basketball, man. Get these times. No rush to the long season, man. I want to see these guys. Hey, we got a chance to win it all, man. We got a chance to win it all. So I want these guys, healthy. Number one, first and foremost, their health. So they low managing 4 games in. I'm cool with that.
So who the top player in the NBA right now?
I mean, it's LeBron James. I'm not about to go on that. I'm not about to even go out.
What
I made that
year?
mistake last year,
Yeah.
jumping on the Kawhi Leonard train. The best player in basketball is number 23 in LA.
I bet.
Till
How
we
many?
hang him up.
What year is this for him?
Damn, is this 18?
It's 18 for him, right? So who was the last two teams to play in the bubble last year?
The Heat, the Lakers.
Where 4 games in, my man, 18 years in. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
bro, LeBron built different, man.
Nah. Like I can't get this man 18 years in. He only had 2
minutes long.
He only had 2 minutes, and he come back and he rocking. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, when respect the KD, Kyrie, them dudes are phenomenal players, man. But it's just like, I don't know. It's
4 games. I feel you 4 games in.
4 games in.
But hey, man.
And I get what,
man, because I gotta protect him, dog.
Protect him from what?
I mean, they've had some major injuries. So it's the 4th game of the season. Like,
so why you sit down?
Play 3, resting for 1. Play 5, resting for 1. Maybe play 7, 8. Right? Make sure everything responded correctly, and then by the time you hit game 50, now we know exactly what we got, and we got a plan going forward for that that championship run. But right now, with the 2 superstars who've had injury issues at this point in their career, I don't have a problem with the rest of them. That's just me.
Yeah, you crazy as hell.
Me, man. That's
crazy as hell. 3-4 games in, and both y'all sitting at the same time. Nah.
Hey, so we got a Tom put it in here. Steve Nash, big alternative health guy.
Yo, I get all that shit. Sound good.
Sure he's in the.
This shit sound good. We 4 games in, man. Like we big boys up here, man. It's 4 games in. Now look, I'm not even. I get as far as coming off the injury, like I said, with KD coming off the Achilles, you gotta be smart. You know what I mean? But 4 games in with 2 of the best players in the league, I would say, top 5, top 10 in the league.
Yeah, right. Brian, 36 years old. What you think about? I got a question in the chat. Them Suns, man, are they for real? I was excited about them. I know in my group chat, once the trade went through, once they got Chris Paul, I said, I like them as a 4 to 6 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
I think with that trio that they have,
they'll make the playoffs. But I mean, I think that's got to be it. Just to keep it all the way a buck, like, what I mean, they will be much better than what they were last year. Chris Paul gonna bring you a different dynamic that you would love to have on your team, just his experience, his leadership. And he can still ball, you know what I mean? Add him with Booker and Ayton, you know what I mean? I think that's gonna be a good call. But just playing in that West, man, you get that West is deep, it's tough. So they will make the Alls, but
you see anybody challenging the Lakers on that West?
I mean, I think it's some teams that will give them a run for their money, but I got the Lakers coming out of the West. That bullshit that the Clippers put up the odd night, losing by 50, and that
we got beat by damn near 52 by the Bucks.
Yeah,
but my Heat. What's going on, man?
Yeah. So, but coming out of that West, I got a Lakers coming out of the West, man. And then obviously you got the Clippers, you got the Nuggets, Jazz, the Mavericks. You know what I mean? You can throw Phoenix in there. You can throw Portland in there. So that West is deep, man. The West is deep.
Facts, always. They coming out. They coming back. Ain't nobody stopping that, man.
Yeah.
I think Mavericks may take a step. Pelicans, I like the Pelicans early, but the Warriors. I hate to see Steph out there like that, man. I hate to see my boy out there like that, man.
Hey, I hate it too, but shit, you one of the greatest.
Now he get
wanted
to
the
see what it.
greatest.
Now he get to see what it feel
Exactly.
like to have to carry a mob, huh?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I hate to see it too. Obviously, you want to see everybody at full strength, so the playing field is even, man. But it's what it's about. You know what I mean? So he gotta carry that load. I know this shit's gonna be tough, but he gotta carry it.
It's a fact. Shit, man. Gonna jump out and let Booger jump in a few minutes. Drop y'all questions like you said, like AD said, man. Keep it respectful. Should be some good conversation. We're gonna enjoy. Gonna enjoy it, man. So y'all obviously
Y'all,
drop your input in, man. We looking forward to it.
y'all hang in with us, man.
Yeah, we'll be back in 5.
Back at it again, the man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a very, very special guest in the building. Can y'all hear me? Is the mic?
Yeah, we good.
Oh, okay. Bet. Yeah, we got a very, very special guest in the building, man. Anthony Booger Mcfarland. Played 9 years in the NFL, 2-time Super Bowl champ, man. Doing some great things with ESPN post-football career. Obviously, with some comments made, we're going to jump into that. But before that, man, I want to just welcome you to the Man to Man Pod. Talk about you, your path, your journey, man. Welcome.
Hey, man, glad to be here, man. I met both of you guys a little bit more intimately with Twan. I played with Twan when he was a little youngster.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to meet you, D. Butler, as far as this broadcasting journey that we both on, man. Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me, man.
No, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for joining the show, man. So, like D-Bus said, man, obviously we're going to talk about the comments made earlier, but here, man, let's just talk about, your history, man, and just your journey. And how it all started for you, where your background, where you come from, and where the love of the game come from as well.
So, man, I was born in Louisiana, man. I'm a middle child. I got an older sister, younger brother. My mother raised all three of us on $18,000 a year, man, on welfare. I grew up in Winsboro, Louisiana, and the only dream I ever had, man, the only goal I ever had was figuring out a way out, like trying to get out of my town. Because the only thing I knew was my town. And the biggest thing we had was Walmart. And so I grew up, man, with that dream, man. And I wasn't like a super recruited athlete. My freshman and sophomore year in high school, I didn't play at all. And finally, my junior year, I got an opportunity to play. And by the time I rolled into a senior, I started getting recruited. And I got a scholarship to LSU. Literally, the first time I stayed outside of my town in my life was when I went to Baton Rouge. Changed my life down there, man. I was a 4-year starter. I often say I was born in Winsboro, but I was made in Baton Rouge, because I grew up down there. I learned how to be a man. I had so many father figures in my life, dude, because my dad wasn't around. So I had to have a lot of dudes who I still confide in today that played the father role for me. And so that was great, because my mother, she did everything she could. But I think we all know men have to teach men how to be men. Mothers can only do so much. And so I had to have that role played by men. And it was great, man. And I got drafted in Tampa, played 9 years, won 2 rings, man. Met a lot of great people. Tony Dungy is one of my great mentors in life, man, just how he lives his life. And, I retired at 30. So I played 9 years. And, you guys can relate to this. So I retired at 30, and it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot of money, also got a lot of free time. I got married, started a family. And then 4 years in, it's like, man, I can't play golf every day now, D. Butler. I can't tee it up every day. And I got a call one day from a buddy of mine named Jerry P. Tuck, and he's like, hey, they're starting an FM station in Tampa. Do you want to audition? And I'm like, okay, sure. And CBS started a station called 98.7 The Fan. And I started doing local radio, man, from 3 to 7 every day. And that's how my broadcasting career got started. And I went from the SEC Network to ABC to Monday Night Football to what I'm doing now, which is NFL Countdown, doing NFL Primetime with Chris Berman, doing some college football stuff, man. So it's been an amazing journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs. But through it all, I think if you'd have told me when I first started, it's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers. If I would have told you that the Steelers would be 12-3 at the beginning of the season, everybody would be like, great, good. But if I told you they was going to get there after 11-0, now we look at it a different way. And so I just look at where I am now, man. I'm fully blessed and highly favored, man.
So when you were playing the game, did you see yourself in media after? Because I know we're this is a form of media as well, and I didn't really see myself doing this when I was playing. But was that a vision you had for yourself to make it all the way, to Monday Night Football? That's the pinnacle of it. So was that the goal from the jump?
No, never was, man. Never was.
Mm-hmm.
When I got into this, I enjoy talking, man. I enjoy this. Like that's why when you reached out, D. Butler can tell you when he reached out, it was like, sure, dude, it wasn't no hesitation.
Yeah.
We don't need to go through a whole lot of. Let's talk it up, man, because I enjoy conversation. I enjoy dialogue. I've been doing this all my life, though, D. Butler. So back at the crib, we just call it sitting on the front porch with boys.
Yeah.
Now there's a red light, there's a camera, so you got to be a little bit more grammatically correct. You can't do certain things. But I've been doing this all my life. I just get paid to do it now. So this is fun for me. Talking about football is fun. I enjoy reaching people. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy making people think. And I also enjoy having my own point of view. I think people that know me know that I'm my own man. I have no problem going left if everybody else goes right, because usually there's a reason why I'm doing it.
Yeah. So even with the media, man, football for us, that came easy. You know what I mean? That came easy. That's something that we did, growing up. As far as the media, man, and even when me and D Buck, when we started this, I'm thinking that it was going to be easy. But when the camera comes on, it's a different feel. So for you, man, how was that transition? Like, is it still some things that you're learning to this day as far as the media world? And how different is it from lacing the cleats up and putting that helmet on?
Well, there are so many similarities from the standpoint of preparation and hard work and the work behind the scenes that nobody sees. And I think that's the thing that those are the similarities and the grind, getting up in the morning, watching tape. Back in the day, we got up, we went and worked out and we were sweating. We was out there on that grass. Now I'm sitting in the office. I got the clicker in my hand and I'm sitting there trying to figure out, man, how come anybody can't realize that if you're playing Kyler Murray, keep him in the pocket. Like, don't let him outside the pocket. Finally, Bill Belichick did that. I'm sitting there watching the Indianapolis coach trying to figure out, why don't they run the football more, play action pass, and allow Phillip Rivers to be comfortable? Don't let him throw it 45 times a game. So I'm watching the game, and I'm developing my own nuances, but the similarities are the same. Preparation, hard work gives you a key to success. It doesn't matter what field you're in, whether it's playing football, whether it's being an accountant or a banker. It really doesn't matter, man. It's all about the preparation and the journey and figuring out how you're going to create a path to success, right? Because I think that's ultimately what we're all trying to do. We're trying to create a path to be successful, and there's so many different ways. I'm a country boy. My mother used to tell me, son, there's so many different ways to skin a cat. So many different ways. You just got to figure out what your way is.
Who was that person? Because you said you had a lot of father figures, and where in Baton Rouge, where you became a man, and then going. But like Twan said, football, that's easy. Once you know how to do it, what to do, you're gonna get after it if you want it. As far as this media side, I'm sure you had to have somebody who kind of showed you the ropes, taught you the game, kind of that mentor. Who was that guy or woman?
So the first person to give me confidence, man, was James Brown. So Antoine, and I don't know if you know, but D. Butler, so I went to that broadcast boot camp. And man, I'm in there and I got turned down the first year. Okay. Second year I go back and I'm going through the whole thing. We're doing interviews, we're writing the stuff on the prompter. And I'm just having fun, man, because this is new. A little nervous because I realize it's an opportunity that not a lot of people get. And me having been turned down, I know that. So during that whole little 3-day session, James Brown pulled me aside and he said, man, I don't know what it is, but you got something. He said, and just keep cultivating that, keep nurturing that. I can't tell you what it is today, but my spirit is telling me to tell you you got something. And D. Butler, that changed my life. That's all I needed. Because here's James Brown telling me that I got something. You know what that did to me? Like that breathed confidence into me, man. And that just got me along my journey, man. And you go to Mike Greenberg, Dari Noka, Kevin Nagandi, my agents, man, people that have been in my life. I've always admired Chris Carter by how he carried himself on the big screen, just as far as being able to speak his mind, being able to have his own point of view. So like those are the people who I've watched. Troy Aikman was another one. Like when I never thought about doing games, but if I ever did, I admired the hell out of Troy Aikman. So those are the people who touch me personally and physically, and also that I watch from afar to kind of get me motivated to do what I'm doing now.
Word. Do you ever see yourself getting into coaching? Or or you see yourself staying in this media lane?
Nah, you know what, man? I started a family. I got a 13 and a 9-year-old. Coaching takes a lot of time. If I were going to coach, it would probably be later on. But I want to be hands-on with this 13 and 9-year-old man. Make sure I put my thumb on him. You know what I'm saying? Because like as I told y'all when we started, I didn't have that. Okay?
Yeah.
I wasn't the daddy that was around. So my job now is to give them better than I had. My job is to be that thumbprint on them and to mold and raise this 13 and 9-year-old. So I'm looking forward to doing that, man. And coaching maybe one day, but right now I'm not into the whole coaching thing. I want to be able to be in this form that I'm in now, because I can touch people. I can talk about the game. And here's the most important part. Man, I wake up, I feel great. I ain't got to take no Toradol shots. I ain't got to get no ice. Get no ice tub. Like, it is the best of both worlds, man.
Nah, for sure.
And I want to talk about that too real quick, because that's important as well. Obviously, with this year being so challenging for everybody. We talked earlier off camera about you getting on that Peloton and how it kind of changed your life. What adjustments have you made in your physical fitness and your own health during this pandemic?
Man, just trying not to be a fat ass, dude. Like, really. Like, people see me post about the Peloton all the time. They're probably like, man, who is this dude? He's just arrogant, bragging. But I was 337 pounds at one point. And I looked myself in the mirror and I'm like, dude, like, my mother died of a heart attack. Seriously, at 50 years old. This was 2 years. This was a year before I came to Indy, Twan.
Yeah.
My mother passed away of a heart attack. And I saw my mother being obese. But like, who am I to tell my mom, hey, mom, lose some weight? Like, I couldn't do it. Like, it's my mama, man. Like, you can't, I'm supposed to tell you that stuff. So I didn't tell her anything. And I finally had that kind of epiphany with myself. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, dude, you got to be around for your children. And so I went on this weight loss journey, man. And I was out there running and all that stuff and losing weight. And finally, a couple years into the journey, I lost 45 pounds, but my knee was bothering me. And I had to have my knee cleaned out. And Doc was like, hey, man, you need to stop running. Get on your bike. I'm like, Doc, man, black people don't have stationary bikes, man. Like, that's not what we do. And he's like, have you ever tried a Peloton? I said, no. And I tried it the first time, and my butt was hurting like the worst, dude.
Yeah.
I went out and I bought those shorts with the pad and cushion. And I got back on that thing, man, and it tapped into my soul, dude, because you got the competitiveness, you got the music, you can do it anytime you want to. I can compete against you guys around the world. And dude, I'm 380 rides in. I went from 337. I'm 280 now. I feel great.
Okay.
Like I'm just enjoying life. So I am proud of what I've done, and Peloton has been a really good avenue for me. So I'm gonna always praise Peloton. People are like, man, do they pay you? I'm like, nah, it ain't about money, man. I just appreciate the machine,
Shit, health as well.
Get that check, man. Get that
check. At the end of the day, like you said, health as well too. So you know what I mean. You feeling good mentally, physically, man. That's the most important part. But shoot, man, let's jump into it, man. Obviously, as you just kind of mentioned, one thing about, what you like about being on the screen and talking ball and being able to express your viewpoints and your opinions, and you're not worried about going left if everybody is going right. Obviously, you've been seeing with Dwayne Haskins, man, and that whole situation down there in Washington. And you made some comments just as far as where you thought, his mindset was, where some of the younger guys coming into the league, where their mindsets are as far as building their brand. So let's just talk about that. Like where were you coming from with that?
So like, we understand the whole conversation. So my conversation, and if you go back and listen, I used a couple of keywords. The first thing I used was the word all. So my message was to all players, okay? People looked at it and said, well, why come you didn't call out the white guys? Why come you didn't say something about the white guys? Okay, I said all players, but specifically, look at me, all right? I'm a black man. All right.
Yep.
I understand what this journey is like being a young black athlete in this country. I specifically understand what it's like being a young black African-American football player in a league that's 70% black. So after I started with the word all, I wanted to drill down specifically to me and us, to the African-American football player. And over my 20 plus years in and around the NFL, I think we all can name names of guys who didn't take the job serious. I think we all can name names of guys who didn't put themselves in the best situation, who didn't apply themselves to the job. And so when you're on TV, I don't have 10 minutes. So I don't have 10 minutes to go through and list everybody. And so I gave a general message to all these young players that I've seen. And I'm tired of seeing young guys. Dwayne Haskins was just the jumping off point. He was just the latest example of what we've seen of a young player coming into this league, and they don't take the job seriously. Again, my initial message was to all players, but I'm talking specifically to the majority of us who make up 70% of this league. And so I think the message got construed because everyone seems to think that I'm pointing the finger at just the black people. No, let's listen. I said all players, but look at me. I'm a young African-American man, and I'm passionate about this now because I've seen too many of us who throw away our career. And this is a $1 billion business, man. And so I used that platform the other night to just say, hey, man, before we concern ourselves with building a brand, let's first build a career, okay? Before we concern ourselves with trying to build so many different things, let's get ourselves established with the foundation. It's no different than building a house, man. You don't worry about the amenities and the crown molding until you get the foundation poured. Like, we got to get the foundation poured. And Dwayne Haskins was just an example. I wasn't trying to call him out. It was just an example. And so my message overall was to specifically, again, all players, but drilling down a little deeper to the young black players coming into this league, man. Let's do better, man. Let's take advantage of this opportunity that we have, because I personally, and you guys can share if you want to, I personally have seen too many of us throw away this opportunity by worrying about the amenities and the crown molding without first building the foundation first.
Yeah, and I think we've all experienced that, with all players, black, white, and different. But when you this is where you lost me, because I'm watching. I'm like, oh man, I know Booger ain't just say what when you drill down to the African Americans, because the majority of us felt like it was no reason to drill it and isolate the African American players, and then to connect, Dwayne Haskins and Jamarcus Russell. Like, it's been many failures between that black and white quarterback.
Absolutely.
And those situations had nothing to do. That's like comparing, Ryan Leaf to, another flame out quarterback, Johnny Manziel, who came to the league. Like, those are two completely different situations. So when you drill it down to the African Americans and then the quarterbacks, when we have, especially now, we have so many examples of, black quarterbacks doing it the right way on and off the field, whether it's Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, the list goes, Jacoby Brissett, the list goes on. So when we see that, especially from one of us, because it kind of empowers that narrative that's always been behind the black athlete, the lazy black athlete, or the brat, or the whatever, and he doesn't take these things serious, when we know the overwhelming majority of players, not just quarterbacks, but players that are African American, take this job, with the seriousness of, hey, the main thing is the main thing, and at the same time, I'm gonna build this brand alongside it. So for us, I know for me, and I know I'm probably speaking for a lot of people now, because you've seen the tweets and all that, and that's why I reached out. I'm like, I'd rather have a conversation, because I was like, damn, like, I done met Booger before. That's not the guy. As soon as I heard, I'm like, oh man, like, Booger, man, he looking like, it's looking, I don't like how this looking right now. So, so that's where I'm at with it. And I understood where you were coming from, but I felt like the whole message was lost as soon as you isolated the African American players, because it's a generational thing too that we'll never understand with the social media as well. But yeah, go ahead, let's do it.
So let me ask you a question. So when I drill down, or broadcasting or media 101, we talk from a stance of, or a platform of experience, right? So like when we're on TV, we talk from our experience. That gives us an opportunity to be personable. Like that's broadcasting 101. So when I'm drilling down, talking specifically about the African American player, I'm talking about me. Like that's me. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. I'm drilling down to my personal experience. And so it's impossible for me to drill down. And I respect your point about I didn't have to drill down and isolate African American, but that's me. That is me right there. I'm not white. I'm not Johnny Manziel. I'm not Ryan Lee. I said all. To your point, you heard me say all, and then I drilled down because I wanted to make it personal, because this matters to me. Like, this is not something that, Boogers just getting on TV trying to grandstand. Nah, man, this matters to me. I'm 43 years old. I have been blessed to go through the cycle of the NFL, come out the other end, and I'm in my second career at ESPN broadcasting. So I want all these young players, but specifically, man, I want the black people to make it, because I've been fortunate enough to. So to your point, D. Butler, I will push back a little bit. Yes, I could have done it and just been very general, but to me, that's not personal. Personal to me was when I drilled down, and it was never a quarterback thing. Like, this isn't a quarterback thing. This is a player thing for me.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you compare it to Jamarcus Russell, then it's like, all right.
Because that's
and for us, for the younger, I would say generation, and it's kind of been, I know I speak for myself once again, but like we see guys, either your age, maybe a little older, and sometimes it seems like in the media, dang, this guy going super hard for this on this situation when, he's a young, 20, 21, 22-year-old. And then if we're going to really talk about the issues, let's look at Ohio State. You cover college ball. That's not the cleanest program. It hasn't been when he was there. Then he went to the Washington organization, which we know what's going on right now, even with their owner. So he's been around these rocky cultures his whole career. And yeah, he made some very stupid decisions in the middle of a pandemic. But to not only do that, and how you feel about him, that's how you feel about him. I respect that. But when you cast that general net, that's when it was like, damn, Booger, like, I feel what you're trying to say, but nah, you lost me with that. And I know you try to make it personal, and that's important. I think it's even more important for us to show these dudes, to tell these dudes, because a lot of this is like, we don't know what we don't know. You know what I mean? A lot of us. And it's like, not only on the football side of it, that's important, but it is important to build your brand alongside that. Now, understand football is the reason you had this platform, but that brand should serve you a lot longer than this game will. And like, you leverage your relationships, you leverage your network into, where you are today. And it's not a lot of us, but everybody ain't Booger Mcfarland. Everybody ain't, everybody can't do that. Can't do it the way you did it, but it's a lot of things that we can teach these cats off the field that's going to set them up for success later. So I feel like that I just hate when we going back and forth this type of way, and it's like, man, we need to be on the same page, telling these dudes the same, really some real game, as opposed to, making it harder, making it easier for people to jump on that. Oh yeah, they lazy, they do this, because now with Justin Fields coming out in the draft, now they're gonna be, oh, what's up? What, right. Is he another Dwayne Haskins? So that's where I kind of got my feelings about it, I guess.
To your point, Twan, and I'm gonna give it to you right now, Twan. But let me say this. When you look at it overall, as far as building the brand, and I think this is where we disagree a little bit, and we can agree to disagree. I built the foundation first. So my rookie year, second year, even though social media wasn't prevalent, I wasn't doing a bunch of off the field things because I knew I needed to establish my career. And I played 9 years doing it a certain way. I talked to a lot of other veteran players, and obviously I get it. Times are different now. It's totally different. Like all the stuff these kids are doing now is totally different. But I would just say my advice to any of them would be, make sure the main thing is the main thing, because without no football, without no base, all the other stuff don't matter. Go ahead, Twan.
Nah, but I think another key thing that you just kind of said is that the times is different. You know what I mean? The times are really different from when you first entered the league. Even when I first entered the league, it was just Facebook, right? So now you have all these other avenues where players, and especially a quarterback, where we all know quarterback are the main players that are able to get those deals off the field.
Yeah,
in football, you have to. I feel as though now, I always say myself, if I would have, if one thing I could have done differently in my career was kind of focus more on my brand while I was while it was hot. You know what I'm saying? And I think that these younger players, they're noticing that. You know what I'm saying? Where some of the older guys are kind of saying like what I just mentioned. So I agree with you as far as keep the main thing, because at the end of the day, if you're not on that field, if you're not throwing those passes, if you're not catching those passes, you won't be able to, leverage your celebrity. But I also believe that they do have to focus on their brand, and their brand, as we all know, is the name on the back of your jersey. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So with the Twitter, with the TikTok, Juju get a lot of backlash as far as dancing on the logos for the TikTok, but shit, like, what is he bringing in off from the TikTok? That's his brand. You know what I mean?
Right, but let me ask you this, Twan. Let me ask you this, okay? All right, and we can use that as an example. And now we can get into the X and O. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Juju ain't been over 100 since AD left, right?
You're right.
Okay? Like, seriously, like Juju ain't been over 100 since AD left. We're continuing to cause distractions for our team. Like, does that make sense to us? Like, I mean, just talk football with me for a second. We are,
because I think we come from the same pedgree as far as
absolutely.
We come from the same pedigree, like, because even I was kind of looking like, when I came to that Indianapolis Colts locker room and I was dancing on some logos, my OGs would be like, "Yo, bro, sit your ass down somewhere." Like, we trying to win a game. I get that. But again, you got to fast forward to 2020 and his presence on TikTok. You know what I mean? And then we weren't talking about that when they were 10-0.
Yeah, it wasn't as they were talking, but it wasn't that distraction until that team.
Until the 3 losses. You know what I mean?
And even if they had lost those games, if he was giving you 6 for 140 and 2 tugs, nobody would care. I mean,
I agree with that, and from everything I've seen and heard about Juju, he's a hard worker. We know, some years it's just not going your way, and I don't think honestly he was going to be that elite number 1. To be honest, I think he's a very, very good number 2 receiver. If you're talking about X and O's football,
now we hit the nail on the head.
That's real. That's real.
And then there's some other, as a receiver, it's a lot of things that got to go right for you to have good years. So, like I said, I can't put it all on him when he's not performing, when he was doing those same thing when he was performing. And like AB said, to him, that presence off the field, he's the highest selling jersey that's non-quarterback in the league, and that's because of the things he does off the field. And if I'm not gonna be a Pro Bowler, I better have this set up for me off the field when I'm for the next 10 years.
For sure.
Yeah. But man, we appreciate you, man. I know you're a busy man. You got to get running, man. But if there's anything else you want to say or any other points you want to hit,
no, man.
Before we let you go.
I would just like to add, man, that like if you just listen to the whole 2-minute 11-second clip that I posted, I mean, we just drilled down to it a little bit more. But listen, I feel passionate about this, and for the people who think that it was a generalization, I can see that. But I'm gonna make this personal to me, man. Like, again, we talked about it earlier. I'm a young black athlete who grew up in Winsboro, Louisiana. Mother raised 3 kids on welfare, $18,000 a year, man. I made it through the NFL, and everything I got, football has provided for me in my life, man. So I'm passionate about this, man. I don't want to see these young brothers throw it away. But I also recognize that it's a different time, and we got to do different things. But when I see a young man, it doesn't matter. Dwayne, again, Haskins was just the example, okay? Take the name away and just say, again, I'm gonna use the same language on my way out of this great podcast that you guys did. My message is to all players, okay? All players make mistakes. White, black, everyone, all. That's what all means. All players. But it's personal to me, man. So I'm talking to specifically the African Americans, man. These young guys coming into this league, man. Make the main thing, man. Okay, all right. I'm not trying to create a narrative. I'm not trying to build a narrative or go along with the narrative that the white people think that black people don't work hard. Man, let's move past that. I'm a young black man that's made it, 43 years old. I've been fortunate enough to be where I am today, and I'm trying to give wisdom back to these young guys. So if it kind of rubs you the wrong way, okay, all right, I'm totally fine with that. But I want you to know that this brother cares about you. Okay. How do we get better, man? Make the main thing the main thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I had coaches in the NFL reach out to me yesterday. Come talk to my team. I had coaches in college come talk to my team. This is a message that needs to be heard. And I feel bad a little bit that in 2 minutes and 15 seconds on Monday night, I created a shitstorm because people interpreted. I left things to be interpreted a certain way, and that's okay. I'll deal with that.
Yeah.
But my message is still the same. All players. All players.
I mean, it's a great message, but
yeah.
and that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I don't want the message to be lost. with the delivery in the package. And in my opinion, this is my humble opinion. Obviously, you are a grown man. The packaging was wrong. Once you isolated the black quarterback, that's where whatever you say. Just like when the people try to make we won't even get into that, but so that's all I was saying. I want to just have this message really packaged the right way, so it's really hitting home and really, so people receiving it, man. And we're not dividing each other. But hey, great conversation, man. Great conversation. We'd love to have you back anytime you're available. And keep trailblazing.
Hey man, love what y'all doing, Antoine, man. Congrats on a great career, man. Love what you're doing right now. Love you, dude. Enjoy being teammates, Super Bowl champs. D. Butler. It gives me nothing but pride, man, when I see guys who went the same way I did, man, through that broadcast boot camp, who out here grinding, man, who using their social media and explaining football. I've learned so much about DB play watching you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Anytime y'all need me, let me know, dude.
Appreciate you,
man. Before you go, I just want to tell you thank you again, man. Like I said, when I reached out to you privately, thank you for pouring into me. Because sitting down, getting a chance to meet you, having the chance to have that lunch with you, that was inspiring to me to see somebody look like me doing it. So thank you for that, man.
Anytime, man.
All right, take care.
All right, bro.
Later. Yep.
Man, that was a great convo right there, man. Again, appreciate Boog, appreciate D Buck, man. You expressing yourself, man, and really. A lot of people was feeling the same way you was feeling. I was feeling the same way when I seen it. I'm like, not Boog, but but like you said, man, being able to get him on here and express what he was feeling, express how you felt. I think a lot of other people felt. So that was a great convo, man. Great discussion.
Yeah, man. Appreciate Boog joining us too. Obviously, he didn't have to do that. So jumping on with us, having an open dialogue. And that's all it is, man. Conversation. Sometimes when that mic is hot, when that red light is on, it's different. You can say some things and mean something completely different. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you're gonna be like, hey man, I meant it this way. We all been in an argument with that person where it's like, you said what you said, but the intention or hit wrong. So
for sure.
But once again, man, thank Boog for coming on. Great convo, and hopefully it leads to more discussions and more actions behind it, man. We really start, creating some change for the generations behind us.
Yeah, man. Because like you said, man, like times is different, bro. Like times is different.
And I wish I came in with that mindset.
Yeah, and even me, I'm not a big social media guy. So like, even if I was coming in, I probably wouldn't have tapped into it like some of these guys are now. But just the mindset as far as the brand, you know what I'm saying, and doing more off the field, because my thing was keep the main thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm working out, I'm watching film or whatever the case may be. But when I grew, it was like, okay, well, it's more than this. Like, I could be $1 billion business in myself, you know what I mean? A multi-million-dollar in myself, if I would apply myself and if I would have got the team, you know what I mean? So
and creating those leveraging your power, your success, your notability into relationships.
Into relationships. And that's one thing I did not do to the best of my ability. So I can't knock the guys and the young guys that are doing it now. Even like I say, even if it wasn't something that I would have done or that I did do. Because now what are we trying to do? We're trying to, use our celebrity or whatever the case may be in our relationships to elevate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we can't. And a lot of times it seems like where the old,
and it's a lot of money out there to be made too. Man, it's a lot of people that are YouTubers, that are game streamers, that are influencers that are making more money than football players. So if you're in a position where you already got that platform, where you're not starting from 0 followers. You already got X amount of followers while you are the receiver for that team or the DB for that team or the quarterback for that team. So, and like you said, you keep the main thing. That goes without saying. But outside of that, like you said to Boog, like you wish you started earlier. And it may not be the brand as far as building the social media. It may be you want to get into commercial real estate or you want to get the residential real estate and you start to leverage those. And you want to get into franchising and you start building your brand out to the field that way because, that's what's going to make the difference in the long haul. Because if you just locked in and focused on football,
you lost.
Once you get out in the real world, you lost.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, you starting from, square zero, and that's tough to do, regardless of what you got, in that bank, regardless of what kind of nest egg you got.
Square zero, I ain't never heard that one before. I heard of square one, but I ain't never heard of square zero.
Square zero, you ain't even that one. You got zero.
That's a new one right there.
You in the world 26. You don't know how to send a Zoom invite.
Yeah,
man.
That was good conversation, though. Good conversation.
Good convo, man. When we back? Back on Friday?
Friday. Yeah, we back Friday.
Back Friday, man. Back Friday. Keep rocking with us, man. Like the stream, subscribe, 5-star review, all that stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
But some good conversation. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
Man, y'all have a good happy hump day, man. Y'all have a good Wednesday, man.
Happy hump day, happy new year, all that. Be safe.
Yeah. We out.
You out.